All right, so today I want to talk about warm-up routines. I think warm-up routines are important but overlooked by us guitar players sometimes, including myself. Typically, I just like to sit down and by default, I'll grab my guitar and just start playing, start practicing. And I have to remind myself to sometimes warm up first. And so I notice a big difference between when I have some kind of warm up routine and I go through that and just spend a couple minutes doing that and then going into my practice session versus just hopping right into it. I find that some kind of warm up really helps just sync up my brain with my left hand and my right hand. If it's the first time playing for the day, especially, and especially more if it's in the morning where my brain doesn't seem to be functioning like normal, anyways. So, a warm up routine can be really helpful. So, if you don't have any kind of warm up routine now, I highly encourage it. And I'll show you what I do for my warm up. It's basically one exercise with multiple variations. And I typically only spend 2 to 3 minutes doing this. If I feel like I need the extra warm up, maybe up to 5 max. Now, the cool thing is this exercise can really help with finger independence and alternate picking because we're going to alternate pick. And so if those are things that you want to work on, then you can actually use this exercise as a part of your practice time and spend 10, 15 minutes on it or something. But we're going to focus on this as a warm-up routine because that's how I use it. So let me show you the exercise that I do. So I'm just going to start on the 5th fret on the E string, which is an A, and I'm going to lay my fingers out 1, 2, 3, 4 across the frets. And this is going to be the position that I stay in for this exercise. So the first thing I do is that pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, up and down the strings like this. Okay, so simple. One thing to note is I like to use a metronome because I'll have the tendency to start slow and speed up. And speed is not what we're going for right now. We're going for accuracy. We're just trying to sync our brains to our hands. And so we can speed things up later, but start slow. Use a metronome so that you don't speed up, because this is what I tend to do if I don't use a metronome. So I'll start slow, and I'll slowly just kind of speed it up by. And I don't want to do that. I want to keep a consistent pace. So metronome is very helpful for that. The other thing I want to mention is if you screw up, that's okay. This is warm-up time. We're just trying to get things going. We're going for accuracy, not speed. But you might flub a note or something, and that's okay. That's just part of working out the bugs first thing. So that's the first thing. Now the first variation of that I do is the finger pattern 1, 3, 2, 4. And I do that up and down the string. So this is what this is like. Okay, so that's the first variation of it. The next pattern that I do is I alternate between 1, 2, 4 and 1, 3, 4, and I do that up and down. And then I simply switch that pattern up. Instead of starting with 1, 2, 4, I start with 1, 3, 4, and then I still alternate. So the next thing I'll do is all the finger combinations together. And so I'll do 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 1 and 3, 2 and 4, and 1 and 4. I think that is all of them. So up and down just like we've been doing. So this is how I do this. So that was 1 and 2. Here's 2 and 3. than 3 and 4. Okay, so I flubbed that a little bit. No big deal. We're just warming up. 1 and 3, which we've actually done this 1 and 3, 2 and 4 pattern already, but I like to do it again. So you can hear I'm actually trying to rush that a little bit because I'm not playing to a metronome, which is why I like playing to the metronome. Okay, so then the last one I think is just 1 and 4. So there you go. That's my warm-up routine. Now we can go a step further, and like I said before, if you're using a metronome, start slow. And now I can speed the metronome up, do that same exercise, speed it up again, do that same exercise. But the other thing that we can do, and I do sometimes, is shift this around the neck. So I pretty much always start there on the 5th fret, but I can move this up to the 10th fret in that position, do that whole exercise, then I might drop down to the 3rd fret on that G note and do the whole exercise down here. It just kind of depends on how much I feel like I need to warm up. And so, like I said, I don't spend a lot of time doing this, 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes tops if I feel like I need that much warm-up time. But the goal is just to get the blood moving and the brain and the hands working together. So if you don't have a warm-up routine, I highly encourage it. Still this idea, this exercise, start implementing it. And let me know how it goes. Shoot me comments below and let me know if this warm-up routine has helped you, or maybe you have a warm-up routine already. I'd like to hear what you do to warm up. And so if you like this video, if this was helpful for you, hit the like button and subscribe. I have more videos coming, and so we can keep learning guitar together. So I'll catch you next time.